everyone, especially to my subscribers. Welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Teacher Julian. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification for more videos. For today's video tutorial lesson is the first lesson in Quarter 4 English 6 on composing clear and coherent sentences using appropriate grammatical structures on verb tenses along simple tenses of verbs. Take note with the verbs here. We have the verb walked, walks, and will walk. In phrases, walked to the market, walks to school, will just walk to visit her friend. Simple tense is a category of verb tense. It covers the simple past tense, the simple present tense, and the simple future tense. Let us take the examples. Take note of the time expression. Jane walked to the market yesterday. Sheena walks to school today. May will just walk to visit her friend tomorrow. We have the verb walked, walks, and will just walk. The time expression yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The three simple tenses express facts or habitual activities. Unlike the other tenses, the simple tenses describe actions without specifically stating whether the actions are completed or ongoing. Let's discuss the first simple tense, which is the simple present tense. The simple present tense is a complex tense. Why? We have to be conscious and be aware that the simple present tense is an oddity. Despite its name, it is not always about activities in the present. The simple present tense can be used for activities that are not currently happening, and it can be used for future events. Like, for example, to describe facts and habits. He plays chess. To describe scheduled events in the future, the plane lands in 5 minutes. To tell stories, particularly jokes, he asked the policeman for directions. To describe facts and habits, Angela runs a youth club full of glue sniffers, and that's a fact. I ride horses in the summer, that's a fact and at the same time a habit. To describe scheduled events in the future, the train arrives at 5 o'clock. To tell stories, particularly jokes, to make your listener or reader feel more engaged with the story, we hear the helicopter overhead. Suddenly, the radio burst into life. To illustrate the use of simple present tense, remember that when we form this kind of tense or sentence, we use the base form or the S form of the verb to state a fact or habitual activity like I play football, or to present activity for stories, looks at her and smiles. If it is a scheduled future activity, the train arrives at 6 o'clock. So remember, in simple present tense, we use them for stating a fact or habitual activity, for a present activity, or a scheduled future activity. Next, we have the simple past tense. The simple past tense describes, of course, a completed activity that happened in the past. In other words, the activity started in the past and ended in the past. For example, John baked a cake yesterday. They painted the fence last month. So take note also with the verbs used. We have baked in the simple form, the past form, and painted. An infographic explanation of the simple past tense. So when we construct a simple past tense, we make use of the past form of the verb, whether it is a regular or an irregular verb, like I played the guitar, which is a regular verb played, or an irregular verb, Julie sang a lullaby. So remember that in the simple past tense, it is used to express a completed activity. Then we have the simple future tense. In the simple future tense, the future form of the verb is used as in the following. It describes a simple action in the future. She will write an email after lunch. I am going to bake a chocolate moist cake tomorrow. So we have the verb will write, I'm going, and the time expression tomorrow. Simple future tense is also used for making prediction. In the year 2025, all students will have their own computers in school. It is very gloomy since the morning. It will probably rain later. Simple future tense is also used for giving warning. Don't lift the table, you will hurt yourself. If you don't give us high grades this quarter, we are going to cut your allowance. An infographic explanation of the simple future tense is the use of will plus the base form of the verb, like will walk, will dance. I will dance tomorrow. David will be late. So that is to use simple future tense by stating future activity. How do we form the simple present tense? So listen carefully. When we form the simple present tense quite easy to form. Why? Because we only use the base form or the S form of the verb. For example, we have the verb run. And the simple present tense, that is run, looks like this. In the first person, you say I run. In the second person, you run. Third person, he, she, or it runs. First person plural, we have we run. Second person plural, you run. And the third person plural, which is they run. So remember that in the simple present tense, we use the S form or the base form of the verb. Forming simple present tense, in other words, it only changes in the third person singular. What are the third person pronouns? We have he, she, and it. It adds either S or ES or IES. For regular verbs, you only have to add S, like talk, talks, improve, improves. For verbs that end in S, SS, SH, CH, and X, you have to add ES. For verbs that end in S, SS, SH, CH, X, and O, you have to add ES. And what are the examples of this? You have guess, guesses, fix, fixes, mush, mushes, and go, goes. For verbs ending in consonant with Y at the end, change Y to I, then add ES. Fly, flies. Study, studies. To create a negative sentence, use do not plus base form of the verb. Use does not with third person singular, the he, she, and it. Do not or does not plus base form of the verb. For example, Angela does not run a youth club full of glue sniffers. I do not ride horses in the summer. In forming simple past tense, for regular verbs, the simple past tense is formed by adding ed or d. Base form plus ed like jump, jumped, paint, painted. However, there are some spelling rules. If a verb of one syllable ends, consonant, vowel, consonant, double the final consonant before you add ed. Chat, chatted, or stop, stopped. So you have to double the final consonant. If the final consonant is W, X, or Y, don't double it. Like sue, sued, play, played, fix, fixed. If last syllable of a longer verb is stressed and ends with consonant, vowel, consonant, double the last consonant and add ed. Incur, incurred. Prefer, preferred. If the first syllable of a longer verb is stressed and the verb ends consonant, vowel, consonant, just add ed. Open, opened. Enter, entered. Swallow, swallowed. If the verb ends in e, just add d. Thrive, thrived. Gazzle, gazzled. However, if the verb ends with consonant plus y, change the y to an I and add ed. Cry, cried. Fry, fried. Finally, how do we form the simple future tense? The simple future tense is formed in two ways. The first way, will plus the base form of the verb. For example, I will bake a cake for mom's birthday on Saturday. Jane will sing during the class program tomorrow. The grade 6 pupils will dance on Teacher's Day celebration next week. So we have will bake, will sing, will dance. Will plus the base form of the verb. The second way is be verb plus going to plus base form of the verb. For example, Philip is going to learn how to play the guitar next weekend. Lucille and Christina are going to practice for their contest on Friday. I am going to teach you about our lesson later. So we have is going to learn, are going to practice, I'm going to teach. So we have be verb plus going to plus the base form of the verb. So that's all for today on the discussion about the simple tenses of the verb. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.